Hey guys and gals, I'm here to do a follow-up on a video I posted before on how to change a 1/4-inch cable for the Milwaukee 25 feet drum auger with cable drive. I admit the video I posted before was useless due to the fact that you couldn't see exactly what I was doing due to the camera angle. So hopefully this time you guys will be able to actually see what I'm doing, so it can be helpful. So first and foremost, you'll need a Phillips screwdriver. So usually with a lot of these cable machines, especially the smaller ones, the 1/4-inch, changing the cable is pretty much straightforward. It's just usually pulling this directly out until there's no more cable left and it comes out completely. And when you're putting it in, it's the same thing, you're just feeding it. But with this one, I noticed when I was pulling the cable out, and I got to the end, it wouldn't let me pull it out completely. So obviously there was something restricting it or holding it down, so the cable won't come out completely, which is kind of good in a way, because when you're feeding the line, sometimes you can feed it to the point where the cable will come out. So it's kind of helpful that when you're feeding it, it's not coming out completely. All right, let's get to it. It's pretty much basic and straightforward, but as you see, it has 4 screws holding this drum in place. So before you get to unscrewing that, what I'll recommend is pulling this cable completely out. That way when you're opening this, what I noticed when I opened it before, when it was all fed in here, and I opened this piece, all the cable is just, it'll go everywhere and it'll get twisted and it'll be a headache. So first, just take the cable completely out. So once you get all the cable out, like I said, we'll go back to the screws. There's 4 screws, so you'll get your Phillips. Once unscrewed, pop this drum off. Once you pop it off, you'll see it has in between this gasket right here. Make sure when you put this back together that the gaskets are back on. So when you're doing these drains, sometimes water does get in here and it will leak, and it will leak over the customer's floor, and you don't want that. So let's put the gasket back on and snug it up. But back to what I was saying. And as you can see in here, excuse the dirtiness, but there is, get closer so you can see, there's another Phillips screw right here holding the cable. So there's no way you would get that out otherwise without unscrewing it. So you'll have to unscrew it. So let me show you. Unscrew that piece, and then pops out. Popped out. Let's pull all the way back out. Get the new cable, and pretty much how you disconnect it, you'll put it right back in there, feeding it. And also one more thing, let me show you how, because see, it has, when you're putting it back, remember, it has a place where it's holding this cable piece and it has grooves. So you have to match up the grooves to this piece so it can sit in there without coming out before you screw in the Phillips screw. So let me show you. Put it back in. Put it back in. Doesn't. Also, there's an arrow you see pointing to the direction you want this to sit. So just give it a little slack, so work with it. A little slack. Put it right back in there. It's important you put this the right direction because it's a self-feed, and you want to make sure that when you're cabling a line is going in the right direction. I'll put that back in there. Screw. You might have to hold this in there because it's going to want to keep coming out. So hold it, one hand. Screw it in there, get it started. And it does have a washer too, so the washer, make sure you don't lose that. It's gonna help hold it in place. Make sure it's snug all the way down completely, because if you're not, this cable can come out. Snug. When you're placing this drum back on there, it has grooves, you can see. It also has grooves here, so it's kind of almost impossible that you don't put it on how it's supposed to be put on because of the groove. So match the grooves up, make sure this gasket's on there, match the grooves. Get your screws, put them back in there. Screw them back in. Make sure these are also snug. You don't want this cover for this cable to start coming open, because after a while these screws will start unscrewing themselves somehow, some way, and yeah, this cover will start coming off, and you're gonna have water everywhere, like I explained earlier, because there's no seal. Take it back, because of course you're gonna have all kind of glip and water and all the other good stuff on there. Also recommend you're pulling it in. And since it's self-feeding and self-retracting, I mean, personally, I don't wipe my cable off when I'm retracting it. That's the whole purpose of having the self-feed and self-retracting, so I don't have to do all that, so I'm not cleaning it, so all that nasty stuff gets caught in the drum. All right, so after you're done with that, tighten it on there, you're snug. Just crack the cable back in. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. I know a lot of guys who are familiar with the drain machines like myself. It didn't take long for me to figure it out, but a lot of the DIY guys, this video will be helpful for you. That way you know how to change out this and it can last and you can keep using it, because more than likely you probably will get another clog, or maybe a friend might get a clog, so you could be helpful to that person. And that's pretty much it. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing more videos in the future. I am getting back into plumbing. My thumb is healing, so I'm gonna get back into the trade and start working again. So I'll be coming with more videos. And try not to blast me too hard in the comment section.